The arena was buzzing with a sense of anticipation that no one could fully explain. It wasn't just another match. It was John Cena's final bow in the WWE ring. Fans whispered in hushed tones, clutching their signs and merchandise, some laughing nervously, some staring wide-eyed at the spectacle. But beneath the surface, a rumor was beginning to coil like a slow-moving storm. Donald Trump might make an appearance. No one knew why this thought had begun circulating. The WWE rumor mills were never short on wild speculation, but this was different. It carried weight. It was one of those moments where disbelief and hope tangled into a strange cocktail of emotion. Backstage, Cena himself had heard the murmur. He smiled faintly, a private tension shadowing his features. He had spent decades crafting his legacy, building it brick by brick, sweat drop by sweat drop. Now, someone from an entirely different world, politics, business, spectacle, could step into his final chapter and change its meaning forever. Fans reacted like a wave hitting the shore. Some with excitement, imagining a historic crossover, others with unease, wondering what this could mean for Cena's carefully built story. Social media exploded even before the night began. Clips of past Cena moments were mixed with flashes of Trump entering arenas, creating an alternate reality in the minds of millions. Every reaction felt like a ripple of energy, but no one knew if it was fear, anticipation, or pure disbelief that was driving it. Meanwhile, behind the curtain, wrestlers exchanged glances loaded with unspoken questions. How would the presence of someone like Trump affect the locker room? Would this be a celebration or a distraction? There were debates, whispers, even jokes meant to mask the growing anxiety. This was more than a match now. It was a cultural event that could ripple beyond wrestling. And then there was the family aspect. Cena's loved ones felt the strain of public expectation alongside him. Friends and family shared private moments of laughter and nervous concern, wondering if the narrative of Cena's last night would be his story, or someone else's story unfolding over his. It was a delicate balance, watching the potential for history and chaos collide in one place. As the lights dimmed and the opening music trembled through the speakers, one thought lingered in the air, thick as smoke. The world was about to witness something they couldn't yet fully comprehend. Cena's final match wasn't just about him anymore. It was about every fan, every backstage whisper, and every shadowy possibility that could explode into reality once the unexpected walked through that curtain. As the rumor spread online, the WWE universe fractured into factions of emotion. Some celebrated, imagining the grand spectacle of Cena and Trump sharing the spotlight. Others recoiled, fearing it would cheapen the emotional weight of Cena's farewell. Every fan had a stake in this story, whether they admitted it or not, and the arena was now a living organism, thrumming with expectation and tension. The media caught wind of the whispers instantly. Headlines splashed across screens with bold fonts. Trump at Cena's final match. Every article seemed to spark more confusion than clarity, weaving layers of intrigue and panic into the night. Analysts speculated endlessly, dissecting motives, past interactions, and even body language in old footage. Meanwhile, the fanbase debated fiercely online. Every thread, comment, and post became a battlefield of emotion. How could a political figure intersect with wrestling history? What did it mean for Cena, for WWE, for the spectacle itself? Inside the arena, the tension was palpable. Wrestlers felt it too. Some whispered strategies and jokes to mask nervous anticipation. Others simply stared into the distance, imagining what could happen if the speculation came true. Backstage, production crews quietly prepared for every contingency. Extra security, camera angles, potential entrances. They considered all scenarios, even the unthinkable. For Cena, it was a strange emotional cocktail. Pride, fear, excitement, and anxiety mingled within him. He had spent a lifetime controlling the story in his ring, building an image, creating a legacy. Now, the narrative had a new variable, one that could overshadow everything he had meticulously crafted. And yet, deep down, he recognized the strange allure of the moment. Wrestling had always been about drama, and this unplanned, wild possibility was pure drama at its peak. Fans in the front row clutched their signs tighter, feeling like participants in something monumental, while those at home refreshed their feeds obsessively, desperate for any sign, any confirmation. Even without seeing it yet, the mere idea of Trump entering the arena created a collective heartbeat across the world. The rumor had achieved what no storyline ever had. It had become larger than the match itself. By now, the stage was set not just for Cena's farewell, but for a cultural collision. Every backstage whisper, every social media post, and every anxious glance carried a weight that could tip the scale. And as the camera pans and the lights blaze, one thought begins to creep into the collective consciousness. Maybe, just maybe, the impossible is about to become reality. Backstage, the air was thick with nervous energy. Cena moved like a conductor among the chaos, aware that his final night had taken on a life of its own. Every handshake, every nod, every quiet laugh carried an undercurrent of anxiety. The potential of Trump's appearance had shifted the stakes. What had been a farewell had become a crucible of public expectation and legacy pressure. Wrestlers speculated in corners, debating the potential fallout. Would this be an iconic moment etched in history, or a distraction that would overshadow Cena's career? Opinions clashed in hushed tones, friendships tested by differing perspectives. Some were genuinely excited, imagining the thrill of witnessing history firsthand. Others feared the spectacle would transform Cena's heartfelt goodbye into something resembling a political stunt. The tension wasn't just professional. Emotional layers ran deep. Cena's family felt the weight of the world through the lens of their loved one. Texts flew back and forth, supportive messages mixed with anxious questions. Are you ready? What if it goes wrong? Remember, this is your story. These words echoed, a reminder that even legends carry vulnerabilities when the eyes of millions are fixed upon them. Meanwhile, media speculation continued to ripple outward. Even casual wrestling fans were drawn into debates, dissecting past history between Trump and WWE, imagining possible interactions, crafting theories with every snippet of information. Every public voice felt amplified, every reaction magnified. The emotional stakes were skyrocketing, with nothing even confirmed yet. In this pressure cooker of expectation, Cena's calm exterior masked the storm inside. He had always been a performer, a master of timing, but even he could not fully control what the world might project onto his final night. The storylines outside the ring were now as dramatic as those inside it, and the interplay of fan emotion, media frenzy, and backstage speculation created an invisible tension that no wrestler had experienced before. And yet, amid the anxiety, a quiet thrill persisted. Cena understood the paradox of his situation. The presence of uncertainty, the looming possibility of chaos, had the potential to elevate this farewell into something unforgettable. It was in these moments of vulnerability that legends are truly remembered. As the lights dimmed backstage and the crowd's roar began to swell, one truth emerged. Cena's final match would not just be a match. It would be a narrative, a convergence of emotion, speculation, and human drama, one that could rewrite the story of his legacy in ways even he could not predict. By the time Cena's entrance music hit, the emotional energy in the arena had become a living force. Fans screamed, some in joy, some in anxious anticipation. Everywhere, eyes were glued to the curtain, waiting, expecting something, anything, that might confirm the wild rumors. The crowd's excitement carried a strange duality. Love for Cena's career, mixed with the electric curiosity of what might unfold beyond the expected. Online, the avalanche of reactions became instantaneous. Clips of Cena's previous matches resurfaced, theories about Trump's possible role proliferated, and fan art flooded social feeds, imagining every conceivable scenario. The rumor had transcended wrestling. It was no longer about a single match. It was about culture, nostalgia, politics, and spectacle colliding in a single moment. Every post, every share, every retweet added to the collective heartbeat of anticipation. The media had a field day. Opinion pieces speculated, podcasts debated, TV shows teased, creating a multi-layered narrative that almost rivaled the drama of the match itself. The fan experience became almost ritualistic. Each notification, each mention, each whisper of possibility created waves of emotion. Some cheered at the thought of a historic encounter. Others bristled at the intrusion of politics into wrestling. Backstage, the tension intensified. Crew members exchanged anxious glances, performers adjusted in anticipation, and the ever-present awareness of history weighed heavily on every shoulder. Even seasoned wrestlers admitted, in rare moments of candor, that they had never experienced anything quite like this. The convergence of fan emotion, media frenzy, and backstage speculation created a drama that extended far beyond the ring. Amid all of this, Cena moved with practiced grace, projecting calm while navigating the undercurrent of chaos. Every smile, every wave, every subtle gesture carried emotional weight, not just for the fans, but for the legacy he had spent decades building. He knew that his final night was no longer his alone. It had become a collective experience, a tapestry woven from anticipation, speculation, and emotion. And as the lights brightened and the audience held its collective breath, the underlying tension reached its apex. What was rumored might arrive at any moment, changing everything. The arena was alive, not just with sound, but with possibility, a shared suspense that would forever mark the memory of Cena's final match. The crowd had reached a fever pitch. Every fan, performer, and camera operator felt the weight of anticipation. And then, as the moment hung suspended like a held breath, something unexpected happened. Not Trump, not a celebrity intrusion, but a subtle, almost imperceptible gesture that shifted the emotional weight of the entire night. Cena paused mid-entrance, looked out over the roaring sea of fans, and smiled. Not at spectacle, not at fame, but at connection. The twist was quiet yet seismic. Instead of the rumored shock appearance, Cena's final night became a reflection on the human stories behind the spectacle. The fans who had cheered through decades, the wrestlers who had fought alongside him, the backstage crew who had built the show, the family who had supported him. It wasn't a viral moment captured in flashes and headlines. It was something deeper, intimacy and gratitude distilled into a single, profound presence. In that pause, every rumor, every whisper, every wild theory was replaced by something enduring. The crowd, sensing it, erupted, not at the spectacle, but at the shared emotional journey. Tears were shed, voices were raised, and an invisible bond was formed. Cena had turned a potential chaos into a human moment, showing that the most shocking events aren't always about celebrities walking through doors. They're about recognizing the stories, struggles, and triumphs that led to the moment. The night ended not with viral headlines, but with reflection. Fans left the arena not just talking about what might have happened, but about what had been honored. Cena's legacy, their connection to it, and the reminder that sometimes the greatest surprise is the power of humanity itself. And as the lights dimmed for the final time, one thought lingered. The rumor of Trump's appearance had drawn attention, but the real story, the emotional truth of Cena's farewell, remained unshaken, quietly reminding the world that legends aren't just made in spectacle, but in the spaces between expectation and reality.